Hey everyone, my name is Miles, and I'm going to be showing you how to play John Lennon's Imagine. It's perhaps one of his most famous and iconic songs. And yeah, let's get started. So you want to count up 1C, 2C, 3C. So it's a C below middle C. Here's middle C. And his song starts here. So the notes in the right hand are going to be part of a C, an E, and the G of the C. And then in your left hand, you're going to be rocking back and forth on a C octave, starting right here. So the rhythm for that is like this. And immediately, you know what song it is. So a little bit about that rocking pattern. It's pretty popular in a lot of Beatles songs. Both John Lennon and Paul McCartney used it extensively in Hey Jude, Let It Be, a ton of different songs. And he's using that same pattern just like this. Just practice that. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and a little bit slower. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... Where it goes next is to the C7, which is this chord right here. It's actually the C major 7. So how he does that? So that's using your third finger, I think, to play the B on top, which makes it a C major 7. So it's counted like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So on the 4 and, you're playing your C major 7. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. And then, on the first beat of the next measure, he comes to an F. And to do that, you're going to use your thumb and your second finger, or actually your middle finger as the case may be, to play the F and the A. And in your left hand, you're going to move your pinky up to the F, and you're going to keep your thumb where it was. And you're going to do that same rocking pattern like this. So, from the beginning. Right here, you do that little chromatic scale bit. And actually, I would recommend starting with your index finger to do that. So that is A sharp, and B. And you play quickly. So how that sounds is like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 4 and. Remember that. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Then after that, you go back to the C, which you were playing before, and you repeat. We'll play the introduction. Starts there. Do it again. It's easy if you try. And again. No hell below us. One more time. That's when the drums would come in and we go into the chorus. Ba-dum, tsh. After playing our C to F progression 6 times, instead of just going, you go, right? So you go A, A sharp, B, C, and then you land on an F chord using your thumb, your middle finger, and your pinky. And that's the start of the chorus. What it sounds like right before the chorus is do, 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 1. So you're not actually changing it up very much. You're finishing on the F, and then you're starting the chorus on the same F, and just the transition is that little. I did it a little quickly there, but I'll slow it down a bit. Imagine all the people. So to do that, you start in your F, you're rocking like you were for the entire song. 1 and 2 and on the 3 and 4, what you do is another classic John Lennon or even Paul McCartney move. You move your pinky in your left hand down a single note to the E, and you move your thumb in your right hand from the F also to the E. And effectively what you're playing is an A minor with an E in the bass. And you don't really need to know that, but it's just kind of interesting. So all you're doing, starting on the F, 1 and 2, and move down your pinky and your thumb one note, 3 and 4 and. Now, for the 1 and 2, following that, you move your pinky of your left hand down to the D, down a whole step. And what you do in your right hand is you play a D minor 7, which sounds like this. It's a really fun chord. It's the beginning to Billy Joel's Piano Man, actually. But again, you don't need to know that. Just a fun fact. So that's made by playing a D with your thumb, an F with your index, an A with your second finger, and the C with your pinky. So what we have is 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and following suit, you're doing the same thing on the 3 and 4 and you move your pinky down to the C. So then you're playing a C octave, and all you have to do is remove your thumb from the D. So you're playing an F with a C in the bass. So let's see how this sounds. Imagine all the people. Okay, so from there, you move all the way down your left hand to the G. And then you also move to a G chord in the right hand, and you want to play that right here. So your thumb's on the G, your middle finger's on the B, and your pinky is on the D. So you keep rocking. 1 and 2 and on the 3 and 4 and. All you do is you move, you keep your thumb where it is in your right hand, and you keep your hand where it is in your left hand. And what you do is you move up from the G to a C, just a different inversion of C. So you have your G with your thumb, you have a C with your middle finger, and you have an E with your pinky. So it's like this: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then you move up the same amount, but only in your right hand. You're keeping your G in the bass. Effectively what you're doing is turning it into a G7. And that's done by keeping the G, playing the D with your middle finger, and playing an F with your pinky. So it sounds like this. And 3 and 4 and stop, 2 and 3 and 4, and then you start over. So we'll play what we have, and then we'll go into kind of the bridge section. It's the last part of the song, and then you know the entire song. So it goes like this. 2 and 3 and 4 and And then what you would do is for the next verse, just go back to your C. But we're gonna skip that because it's the exact same thing we just played without the 2 intro measures of C to F in the beginning. It goes straight back into the verse and straight back into the singing. And then you play the chorus again, but after the second chorus what you do is you go to kind of a bridge. And to play the bridge is a little bit more complicated. So we're here. You, and on the ooh, on the last ooh, on the first beat, you're on an F. So you have an F octave in the left hand, and you have an F, C, F, and A in the right hand. You give that 2 beats. So 1, you may say, and then you move up to the G, which is effectively just moving up every single finger a whole step. So you move from your G to your F, or sorry, from your F to your G. So it sounds like this: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So where you go from here is with your left hand you're playing a C octave, and in your right hand you're playing the rest of the C, and you do it like so. Like this: 1 and 2 and. What I'm doing there is starting on the C, but then going to the C major 7, and just playing single notes on top up to the C note. So really slowly it's. So you play the C chord, C major 7 chord, and the C note on top. See that? 1 and 2 and where you go from there is to an E, which is a kind of weird thing to do, but it works, well, for the sake of songwriting in general, you can do that sort of thing. So the inversion of E you're playing is this, a pretty straightforward inversion. You have an E octave in your left hand, you have E, G sharp, and B in your right hand. But you play it like this. Oh, see what I did there? Okay, so you're going from your E to your E7. This is all really characteristic of the Beatles and John Lennon's songwriting. So what it sounds like from the C is 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and. And notice I threw in a B on the bottom, but you really don't need to do that. Just stick with. And really, you don't even have to put the 7 in there, but he does in the original, so for the sake of authenticity, I would. So far we have this. To the G, to the C, or C, and then to the E. So one more time. Now, he plays the same chords for the next part, but a slightly different inversion of some of the chords. So you land back on the F, but instead of playing it here, you're playing it up here. So it's F, A, and C. Then you move up to the G. Again, different inversion here. Here, we have G, B, and D. And a different inversion of C as well. So you have your C octave in the left hand, and then you have E, G, and C in your right hand. Really, you don't do any of the C major 7 business. And then you do the same E formation and bit that we did earlier. So it sounds like this. after playing that, you do the exact same thing we just did. You take those two progressions and play them exactly like we just did, you know, alternating between the two styles. So altogether, this is what it sounds like. Back to this inversion. And now, for the last time, to the G, and then you end on C, and like this. You have a C note, your pinky, your C up here, but you play this. So that's just a little walk up to introduce the next verse. And to play that, you go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then you're ending in the verse. And it's the same rocking pattern. You're just rocking and walking up back to the C. So you start on the C and then you walk back up to the C. Alright, so you basically know the entire song now. So here's what I'm going to do. I will play the verse, the chorus, and then the bridge section, and then you listen to the original and you just put them all together. Starts here. And now we're going into the chorus. Walking down, John Lennon style, to the G, and then we're going to go into the bridge for this part. USA, you know it. On the C, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and that's how the song ends. But you know, if you wanted to go back into the verse, that'd be pretty easy. It's just this. Cool. So we got the whole song figured out. If you hadn't noticed, I've been using the pedal the whole time, so what I'm going to do is switch camera views and show you really quick kind of the pedal formation, or rather pattern that I use throughout this entire song. It's pretty straightforward. Play around with it a bit. So as you can see, I'm just using the sustain pedal throughout the entire song, and it goes something like this. Now, for during the chorus, sometimes you'll have to do it every 2 beats, so something like this. Alright, so you get the idea. Again, pretty straightforward. You'll figure it out. So, again, guys, thanks a lot for watching. It's been fun. I hope we learned something. That'd be great, actually. So yeah, John Lennon's Imagine. It's by this guy. I actually have him on the wall. I'm kind of weird. Yeah, I know. Just so you know, those are like original White Album pressings of those pictures. It's pretty cool, right? At least I hope they're original pressings. I don't actually know. Anyways, so thank you guys for joining me. I'm Miles Mancinelli. Don't forget to subscribe and or leave and then tell your friends about me. But yeah, it's been fun.